No one wants to worry about their garage door, right? You just want to push a button and go. Well, one call to Direct Service Overhead Garage Doors, and we can make that a reality. We provide 24-hour, same-day service at no additional cost, alongside the best pricing in the industry. So give us a call today and stop worrying about that broken garage door or opener. 501-244-3667. Or visit our website at directserviceoverhead.com. Don't wait days. We'll fix it now.
All right, guys. Happy Monday. Ugh, I hate saying that. I know you hate hearing it. I hate saying it. It's Monday. We're going to get through this together. I do apologize for the mid-afternoon stream. I realize a lot of you are at work, or a lot of you were not expecting the stream today, but we got a busy schedule today, so I was unable to go earlier, and I was unable to go later. So we're going to do it now. You ready? Let's do this. 3, 2, 1, yo. What's going on, Arkansas Razorback fans, SEC fans everywhere? Welcome to the one and only Pig Trail Network YouTube channel. I'm Ty Hudson. Thank you for being here. Remember to throw a like. I'm going to treat this like a like as if I were just doing edited content. Probably don't expect a lot of commenters on this one. Don't expect a lot of people here during the live. Hopefully the video will pick up steam during the week. We're just going to do the best that we can with what we have, right? This is a brutal time of the year for people who do what I do, or whether it's the guys on the radio or guys writing. It's brutal. You're like begging for information. I've been talking with some people last night and today for any kind of information that I can get, whether it's recruiting, whether it's transfer portal, whatever, and there's just not a lot out there. So, but we've got some tidbits today, though. I got a couple of interesting updates, so maybe you guys will agree, and we'll also talk. We'll talk a little bit. We'll talk baseball too. Baseball's also not a big seller here. I know that. I know a lot of you really. I bet 10% of you really give a shit about baseball. But I'm going to do the best I can to cover for you 10% that absolutely want more baseball content. So that's also a goal we're trying to achieve here. On this live stream. Also to Discord people, I don't know why, and I've talked about this before. I have no idea. Discord's the only place where this happens. When you post a link to the show, it gives you the previous thumbnail from the last show. I have no idea. I don't know why it does this. What I've been doing is I've been going in and editing and taking the old picture out and throwing the new picture in, but I got tired of doing that, so to hell with it. You're getting the previous thumbnail. I don't know why they do that. It throws people off. I've had a couple of people ask me about it, like, wait a minute, what's going on? Ty, I think you posted the wrong link. No, I didn't. It's just, I don't know if it's something on Discord's end. It's got to be. That's my imagining is that it is something on Discord's end. They're not pulling the correct thumbnail, and it drives me crazy. And then to have people ask me what the hell's going on just kind of irks you a little bit. All right. This show is not possible without Patreon supporters and without, of course, our sponsor, Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company. What makes them the top-rated local for garage door repair? How about same-day services, emergency service, 24/7, 365 days a year, free estimates, quality parts, affordable outcomes, hundreds of 5-star reviews, better than best results. Give them a call today at 501-244-3667. Again, that's 501-244-3667. And yeah, they work basically anywhere. There's a garage door in the state of Arkansas. You can go to their website. They've updated their website a little bit, and it tells you exactly what areas they do service. So, yeah, okay. Yo, Ty, what's up, Scott? How you doing, man? So if we're getting through this Monday together, does that mean you'll come work my truck out? No, I'm good, man. I'm going to have to pass on that. What's up, Ash? How you doing? You caught a live. You did, but you make most lives. I think you're one of the more, you and Scott and Austin and Will, you're like the most, you guys come through a lot of these, and I do appreciate that. You guys seem to make quite a few of these. Again, do me a favor. Share the content if you can. Again, I don't expect many questions. If you have any, fire away. I'll do the best I can, but like I said, I'm going to treat this more like an edited, like I'm going to sit down and I'm just going to go over the stuff. I'll try to interact. If you guys have questions, I'll do the best that I can with that. Let's start off really quick with baseball. Arkansas got a huge series win on the road in Auburn, Alabama against the number 19 ranked Auburn Tigers. Arkansas gets the win 11-8 in game one in what, I mean, you know, that felt like maybe there's more of this to come. Maybe there's more of this to come out of Arkansas. 11-8. I think they racked up, what was it, 12 hits in that game? 13 hits. 13 hits. Arkansas doesn't do that very often. You're bottom four in just about every hitting category coming into this series. Auburn, probably one of the top three, top four hitting clubs in the conference. I would argue one of the top 10 hitting ball clubs. They got two or three guys that are pretty special on that lineup. And they got a guy that's chasing records over there. But Auburn, 8 runs. But for the most part, Connor Nolan didn't have his strongest outing. It certainly looked like, and I said this in Discord, I'll own up to it, it certainly looked like Arkansas was going to drop game one. And then the bats just came to life, and it was really obviously good to see, but made you feel a little bit better. You're going up against a guy who pitched for Auburn who had been there midweek. I think it was Mason Barnett. I think he was their starter, if I'm not mistaken. He was their midweek guy. They probably didn't have a lot of film on him. They didn't have a lot of information on him. But he was the former Friday night starter, again, if I'm not mistaken. Please bail me out if I'm getting this wrong. And then he was a midweek guy. He got pushed to midweek, and then he was the starter in game one against Arkansas. So you know that can throw you through a little bit of a loop when you're trying to scout and you're trying to do a little film work and figure out what's going on with their pitching rotation. They had another one of their relief pitchers was also out for this game, I believe. I don't recall that guy's name, but they were down a couple of pitchers. Okay, fine. But still, I like the way Arkansas came out in game one and hit the hell out of the ball. Arkansas, again, with 13 hits. Auburn with 11 hits, obviously not enough to get the dub. But Arkansas, not a bad outing. Again, Connor Nolan pitched 4 innings. He gave up 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 5 runs total, walked 3, struck out 4. Cole Ramage came in and, did the best he could to alleviate the issue with middle relief. And then Evan Taylor came out and pitched a couple of innings, actually 2.1 innings. Gave up a couple hits, a couple of runs, and then Brady Tigert slammed the door shut on Auburn. Brady Tigert would come out in game 2. I was reminded last night in a very limited Discord live that we did. I'm going to learn my lesson one of these days. I'm just going to stop talking baseball altogether. I'll learn my lesson, but I can't help it. I do enjoy talking about it a little bit, even if there's only 4 of you that care. But someone brought it up. It was a really good point that he wasn't actually pulled. Tigert wasn't pulled because of his pitching in game 2. I think he faced 4 batters. He was pulled shortly after the mistake that he made at home plate, trying to get the runner out at home plate, and it got messy, and that obviously would lead to more trouble for Arkansas in game 2. So shout out to, I think it was Austin that actually corrected me on that. So Arkansas, I mean, look, game 1 wasn't super pretty, but you liked what they did. Game 2, you dropped 5-3. Not a pretty sight. Hitting was, once again, just, nothing new. Wasn't good. 3 hits through 9 innings. Just 3 hits and 3 RBIs. 28 at-bats. Auburn had 29 at-bats. This was a pretty quick game. I think it was the fastest of the 3 because Arkansas just couldn't – and it was just 1, 2, 3. It seemed like every other inning. Like they just could not – they couldn't manufacture runs. And they couldn't get anybody on base. Just not a very good game two. And, look, you're not going to play perfect every game. You're not going to come out and play your best every single matchup or even every single series. It's so hard to do. The fact that what Arkansas accomplished last year was nothing short of just incredible. Going undefeated in conference play. That's incredible when you're talking about series wins, not dropping a single series. And they're having a pretty good year this year. I mean, my God, your top 5, you've not dropped out of the top 10, I don't believe, at all this year. You've had a winning record outside of starting 0-1, but then after that, obviously, you recovered. You can't win them all. This is the game of baseball, after all. Hagen Smith in Game 2 pitched 4 innings, gave up 3 hits, 2 runs, both of which were earned. Did have 4 strikeouts, but again, not his best. Not his worst. I would say maybe not far from his worst, but somewhere in between, right? He ended up throwing, I think, 81 pitches. Zebulon Vermillion ended up coming out and having a pretty decent outing. You don't like the 2 hits. Brady Tiger, yeah, he only pitched 29. And Zach Morris came in and pitched a little bit as well. But Arkansas would fall in Game 2, and then Game 3, it just kind of – you had a little bit of both of what happened in Game 2 and 3 – or Game 1 and 2, where you had pretty decent hitting, and then you had really good pitching, and you had guys getting outs, which was such a big deal. I don't think enough can be said about Will McIntyre. Will McIntyre, who gave up 3 hits but only 1 run in 3 innings. 3.1 innings on 52 pitches with 4 strikeouts. Jackson Wiggins wasn't again, it wasn't his best performance, but it wasn't his first or worst or his best. He ended up with 4 hits, 3 runs, 1 earned run, 2 walks. Only 2 walks in Game 3 for Arkansas. So pitching in Game 3 was really damn good. 10 strikeouts. Not too bad. Not too shabby. You had some guys struggle a little bit at the plate, but you also had, Caden Wallace, who had a couple hits, 2 RBIs. Robert Moore, 3 strikeouts on 6 at-bats, but he did have a couple of hits and a single run. So, yeah, big game Bob. We haven't seen last year's big game Bob. It is a little bit disappointing. He's not doing what he did last year. His overall hitting is really not good. I pulled up some numbers for Arkansas in the year, and I was going to post them on Twitter. I didn't. What I did instead was I saved it. Maybe I'll post it later. But I found this really interesting looking at all their overall numbers at the moment. Their batting average, Arkansas is hitting .277 on the year. Now, that's not in conference play. That's just overall. That ranks 142nd in the country. Total hits on the year, they're ranked 92nd with 447. We can go on. There's a couple other offensive stats we could look at. But defensively, Arkansas has been on an entirely different level. ERA, they're giving up 3.33, right? 6th in the country. I think it was either 2nd or 3rd in the SEC. Fielding, now it actually dropped. And, yeah, the errors probably had something to do with that. He had way more errors than you have any business giving up, and they had some errors this weekend. That probably had an impact. But coming into this series, they were top 3 in the country. They dropped back to 9th, but their fielding percentage is .982. Double plays, they're ranked 8th in the country. They had 5 in Game 3 against Auburn, which was 1 shy of the season record of 6, which came against one of the in-state schools. I don't remember if it was Arkansas State or who. In hits allowed per game, they're 5th. 5th in the country at just north of 7 hits allowed per game. Yeah, their defense, it's elite. Fielding took a little bit of a step backwards. Not great. It's great fielding, but it's not great to see them drop. But, anytime, listen, you're playing on the road against a top 20 opponent, you're going to take a hit somewhere, and it looked like their fielding percentage took a little bit of a hit this weekend. Pitching, you can argue starting pitching was not stellar this weekend, but not atrocious. It was just good enough to get you 2 series wins. Hitting was good enough to get you 2 series wins. Game 2 was just kind of, if you followed Arkansas baseball long enough this year, if you've kind of kept up with them, that's about to be expected. The hitting is just all over the place. It's mostly been bad, but they have their moments like they did in Game 1 and Game 3 in this series. Their RPI, Arkansas jumped up 8 spots. They were 28th, and then after this series, they jumped up to 20th. Take away that midweek loss, you're probably somewhere floating around top 18. I know. Let's see. Oh, you've missed the past few weeks? Oh, past few. Okay. Got that notification today. There we go. We got a notification out. That's what I'm talking about. How about Jalen Battles yesterday? Even though he's in a hitting slump, he got 2 RBIs. Yeah, he had how many errors did he have yesterday? Correct me if I'm wrong. He had more than one, right? Braden Webb's 3-run homer was huge. It was. You're right, Mr. Eric Fountain. You are very correct. UAPB was the double best. Yeah, that's right. Was it you that told me that? I don't remember who told me that. Someone told me that, I think, in Discord. That SEC tourney is creeping up on us. Yeah, you got 6 games left. We just hoping to win a game or two at Hoover, blah, 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 blah. Off topic, but who you think winning the Heisman? Oh, Lord, Ash, that's out in left field, my guy. Heisman next year? I don't know. I'm not there yet. 2 errors yesterday, 3 on the series. Yeah, that's right. It was you. Someone. I as you could tell, I talk a lot. You know, I'm in DMs or we're talking in Discord. I forget who tells me what. I'm not even lying. It's kind of hard not to argue Bryce. I mean, Bryce Young would be the odds favorite, right, to win it all, to win the Heisman, I should say, and to win it all. Alabama's going to be loaded, y'all. I mean, that's nothing new. I get it, but like, they didn't win it last year, right? They don't win it all last year. They come back, and what do they do under Nick Saban? Well, they go back the next year and they win it all. That's just kind of that's just what they do. But there's so many good pieces coming back for them next year. It's ridiculous. Warms my heart that Tennessee lost their series. Sure did. It was a thing of beauty, wasn't it? To see them lose, golly, I'm so happy they're not going to go undefeated in series play in conference. I'm so happy for that. Ricky Murray says KJ for Heisman. I agree. Remember to like the stream, you guys. It looks like a lot of you have already, but make sure you like the stream and share the content. Subscribe if you haven't already. We're creeping up on 840, I think. 800. It's either 830 or 840,000 total views on the channel. That's absolutely incredible. Would not be here without you guys. And you guys help make this possible. You really do. You really do. Just made that up. I swear if Alabama land Jordan Addison, I'm going to be pissed. I don't have the full story on this yet, but I'm hearing that Arkansas is going to Europe. I think it was Kevin McPherson that reported this. They could play 10 games in Europe before Thanksgiving. Isn't that incredible? Arkansas basketball is going to be. I mean, you hope by that point. Listen, you've played all types of different teams, all sorts of variety there. Looks to me like that'll be their only receiver. They didn't have much at the end of last season. Yeah, I think Alabama's. If you're talking about Alabama, I think they're in really good shape, man. Not a lot of. They didn't take a big hit when it comes to graduation or guys. I mean, yeah, sure, they had players declare and go pro and what have you. That's what they do every year. But looking at their depth chart, going back a ways here. I mean, they are. There's. It's just ridiculous. They got Jermaine Burton in. He transferred in. That's the kid that played at Georgia. If I remember right, highly recruited kid. I mean, of course, it's kind of automatic when you're talking about Georgia. A lot of new faces, like on the back end of the receiving depth, but they had several transfers in the receiving core. I think they ended up with two transfers: Tyler Harrell and Jermaine Burton. Bryce Young's back. Jace McClellan, Trey Sanders, those guys are going to be back at running back for them. They added that transfer, Jahmyr Gibbs, out of Georgia Tech. They're really high on him. And then defense, they got a lot of pieces back. A lot of pieces. Will Anderson. Will Anderson's going to be a beast. Jalen Moody, Tutu Henry, however you pronounce his name, kid out of transfer there from Tennessee. He's back. Treylon Burks will win Offensive Rookie of the Year next year. There's plenty of production there for him, right? I mean, you look what they lost and what they're gaining. They do have Woods, former Ram receiver there. If he's back to 100%, he could be special. Woods worked out really well in the Ram offense till he got hurt, and of course they added OBJ later in the year and went on and won the Super Bowl. But he could gobble up quite a few, quite a bit of the production next year. Ohio State. Yeah, Ohio State is looking scary, and I've seen people try to make the argument that Ohio State should be ranked number 1 and not Bama. I would put Bama 1, Ohio State 2. I don't know what to make of Georgia right now. Okay, I'm not going to argue to put them in the top 5, but are they really a top 3 club or a top 3 school? I'm just not. I don't know. A lot of moving parts there. Of course, we know they don't have to go out and recruit their way out of it that offseason, right? They don't have to hit the portal. They don't have to hit, which what you did back in the day was you hit up JUCO or whatever, next man up sort of thing. You don't really, thanks to the portal, it's changed how much of how the offseason flows. But they don't have to do that. They're going to replenish and they're going to be just fine like Alabama does, but are they going to be anywhere near as good as they were last year? And it took every bit of them. I mean, look what happened in the SEC championship. And then things changed after that. But I don't know if I'm buying that they're a top 3 team this year. Just like I don't know if I'm buying the A&M hype. I just don't understand it. I don't know what they're going to they've still got some things going on at quarterback. And to me, if right now we're still, and now it's been a few weeks, I'll be honest, since I've looked up what's going on with their quarterback situation. I know they brought in the greatest recruiting class of all time. I get that. But how often do true freshmen come in and have that massive of an impact? And if they're coming in to have that massive of an impact, then you've got other things going on when you're worried about 18 and 19-year-olds coming in and taking over. You got more problems than you want to admit if that's the case. Does that mean that freshmen don't come in all the time and do special things? Of course they do. But, they're going to need – I think they're going to need a lot of help, and they're going to be relying on 18, 19-year-old kids to do that. Good luck. I'm not buying the top 5 hype. I'm not. I could see top 15. I'd probably put them at 14th. Sure, 12th, somewhere in there. I'm just not buying the top. We do this every year with A&M. Every year you'll have these 2 early polls, and they'll put A&M somewhere where they don't belong. I don't know if it's, Jimbo, this team is so talented. It's Jimbo Fisher. We've seen what he could do. Oh, boy. They beat Bama last year, Ty. That's all it took. And now that's it. They're going to do it this year. They're going to win it all. It's their year. Or they're going to compete, finish second in the West, which could happen. It could. And they do. They already had great talent before this last class. And what did Jimbo do with that? Let's move on to some recruiting. Arkansas had targeted Morris Joseph. I did not add him to the Bobby Hopper because I did not think Arkansas had a shot with him at all, and it's looking like that's probably accurate. Georgia Tech right now has taken the lead. He's a 6'3", 6'2", 280-pound defensive lineman. Kind of plays. I think he played a little bit of nose tackle. Not Georgia Tech. I'm sorry. Hold up. Let me pull that back up. Hold up. Hey, but Morris Joseph was the guy Arkansas had some interest in. Hold up before I misspeak on him. Don't you misspeak on him. Pull up that name. I want to make sure I get that right. Yeah. So he's part of that 2019 recruiting class. He ended up enrolling at Memphis. And now he's favored in the portal. He's favored to go to Georgia Tech. He has a crystal ball at 100%. Is it official? Did he hop back out of the portal? Because I'm reading that he transferred to Georgia Tech. Okay, that might be wrong. All right, I may have looked at that incorrectly. So I had someone forwarded this to me and said he was back in the portal, and I'm looking at it and I'm not seeing him back in the portal, but then he was favored back to Georgia Tech. I don't know. I'm pretty sure he's at Georgia Tech though. Yeah, he hit the portal March 1st. March 8th, he took a visit to Georgia Tech, and he'd come up on my radar shortly before that, but I never added him to the Bobby Hopper transfer page because I just didn't like their odds, and you'd been hearing a little bit about Georgia Tech. It looked like it was going to be a pretty clean sweep. Like he was just going to be in the portal, and then he was going to commit to Georgia Tech, and it looks like that's what happened. So I got some bad information. I pulled this up. Yeah, but he's going to be a good prospect for them. Arkansas still has the 2 spots left. Still think they're obviously going to grab defensive lineman and a wide receiver. They've got, you guys know where I stand. I think I would take 2 more defensive linemen, especially if they're wanting to run a multiple front look. If they're wanting to run 4 3-man front, I'd probably, or with a 4-man front, that is, I'd probably want 2 more defensive linemen. Now you've got this stuff with Tauren Carter. That was the other tidbit that came out. We found out over the weekend. Tauren Carter had surgery on Friday. What's his recovery time? That's a little bit troublesome. Tauren Carter had surgery. We weren't sure how serious his injury was. It was serious enough that he's going to need surgery. So I'm starting to wonder if maybe they slide over from needing another wide receiver and going ahead and picking up 2 more defensive tackles, 2 more interior guys. Yeah, but Morris Joseph did not hop back in the portal, so that was incorrect information. Information. That's a good get for Georgia Tech, 6'2", 275. So Tauren Carter has surgery. Now what? Oh, man. How long is his recovery? And we don't know what the hell he had surgery on. I'm not sure when Sam talks to the media again, but what's the recovery look like? I mean, we're after spring, man. I mean, they've got their voluntary, their workouts that start in June. Then you're going to have the month of July. To me, you could look at this from 2 different angles on Tauren Carter. Which, big loss because Carter had such a good spring camp. This reminds me so much of the Raleigh Williams stuff when Raleigh Williams, running back under Bielema, was expected to be the big-time back for Arkansas, and then I think he messed up his neck, and he had to retire. He had to completely quit football after that, if memory serves correctly. But yet it wasn't like a huge position of need because Arkansas was stacked at running back, but it has that same essence. Big time spring camp for him, and now he's got to have surgery. The first play of the final scrimmage, I think when that happened for Tauren Carter, we all watched, we all witnessed it. So what the hell do they do now at defensive tackle? What do they do on the defensive line? You guys know where I stand on these guys. I'm not sure where the star is. I'm not sure when you look up and down that roster, and I know someone's going to get upset when I say this because every time I talk poorly about any one position, someone gets pissed off and butthurt and comes at me with some bullshit. But you tell me where you see on the defensive line, who's your star? Cam Ball's going to be a redshirt freshman. I like his size, 6'5", 315. Eric Thomas is going to probably stick at the end. Landon Jackson's another end. Eric Gregory's 6'4", 302. But can you point to any one of these defensive linemen that aren't named Tauren Carter and say, there's your star? There's your guy? Especially when we're sitting here talking about we're going to run a 4-man front. No, you're not. Like, how? Now, again, maybe it's not that bad a surgery. Maybe it's quick recovery. Maybe he's only going to miss, a couple months, whatever, and then that's fine. And we'll assess the situation come fall camp, or when we get the news. But Carter was the guy that everyone was kind of leaning on. I don't know, man. You guys tell me. I thought Tauren Carter was the guy. Cam Ball could be special. We know he's quite the athlete. And he'll be a redshirt freshman. I am excited for him. But I don't know. I mean, you're talking about a redshirt freshman versus a 4-year guy in Tauren Carter who's just tearing it up, man. I mean, everyone I've talked to, anything that's out there publicly that you could read, they were talking about Tauren Carter. That was your guy. So I'm not really sure what they're going to do there. You see that write-up 247 did saying if Arkansas wins their first 2 games, they should be ranked at 10. How you feel about Arkansas with number 10 ranked? You have to ask yourself, did they earn that top 10 a year ago? I think they did. Like, when they broke into the top 10, I think they earned it, and then it fell apart pretty quickly. You lose some games, and that happens. No Treylon Burks, which is what you're going to read about a million times during the offseason. Well, they lost Treylon Burks. Okay, what about it? Like, everyone's going to lose a major part somewhere, either on offense or defense. That's that is a huge part of the offense. Make no mistake about it. But I don't know, man. They worked their asses off to get to where they were at a year ago. They won 9 games. You can argue that they were how many plays away from winning 9-10 games in the regular season a year ago. They were better, in my opinion, than Ole Miss. Should have beat Ole Miss. Should have beat Auburn. You had no business losing to Auburn. We're sitting here talking about an entirely different situation. Had Arkansas pulled their heads out of their asses against Auburn, come on. Who's better? Who's better in 2021, Auburn or Arkansas? Arkansas. Who had the better year? Arkansas beat, although a very mangled from the guys declaring early for the draft, Penn State Nittany Lion football team, but they still won that game. They were missing pieces. No Treylon Burks in that game. So yeah, man. If we're gonna look at, if you look at why you're in the situation that you're in right now, it's based on what you did, right? And it's based on what they think your ceiling might be and how good they think you might be, just based on your ceiling, what you accomplished a year ago, and then the pieces that are coming back. And when you have someone like KJ Jefferson, who I think will make several writers shortlist for not Heisman, but maybe the dark horse Heisman category, when you have a solidified quarterback, 4 of your 5 starting pieces up front on the offensive line back, all of your running backs back outside of Treylon, Hazelwood, former 5-star wide receiver, transfers in. You got the Georgia and LSU defensive backs. Catalon's back. Alabama linebacker Sanders, bumper pull. Yeah, man, I'm not gonna shame anybody for putting Arkansas in the top 10. I didn't shame RJ Young. I would say RJ's putting Arkansas at 6 might be a little high. But did they earn it, and is their ceiling there? Like, when you're talking about top 10, that means the expectation is probably 10 wins. Jashad Stewart. What about him? Are you saying Stewart? Well, first off, he's a rush end. I'm talking more about your interior. Trying to figure out what they're doing in the interior. He's more of a rush end. He's a 6'2", 6'3", 240-pound defensive end. I'm looking at who's your guy inside. Now, if they stick with a 3-man front, you kind of understand it. You're not, Ridgeway did exactly what you needed Ridgeway to do to anchor that 3-man front. So, yeah, Stewart could be special, and I did say defensive line, but what I should have said was defensive tackle. Like, who's going to be the guy? And I think you could probably make the argument across the defensive line because we don't really know what the hell we have in Jackson. And Landon Jackson, we don't know how healthy he's going to be. I'm assuming he's going to be full going fall camp. Going to need him. You're going to need him. Him, Zach Williams, Eric Thomas. some of these guys have kind of played different roles on this defensive line. But Cameron Ball, I would love to see Cam Ball shoot up that depth chart, and I hope that he does. I really do. Moving on to the final part of the discussion here. We talked about getting some wrong information on Morris Joseph. Like, I got that info 5 minutes before I went live. I was about to go live at like 15 or so before the hour. And then someone forwarded me that, and I was like doing some frantic searching, and I did not see where he did not put his name back into the portal. But talking about some of these high school the other transfer targets to keep an eye on. I don't know their chances of is it Javion Hester out of Mizzou? I don't know their chances on him, and I don't know their chances, but he is a name that's been brought up. Again, about a 6'3", 180-pound wide receiver out of Booker T. Washington. Went to Mizzou committed to him back in 2019. He was part of the 2020 class. And then you have Kevontae Dixon, who, if I remember right, Arkansas recruited in high school. So those are a couple other names. At the moment, neither one of them have transfer crystal balls at the moment. So, but those are a couple of receivers. If they stick with going after a couple more receivers, which again, with the Tauren Carter news, it makes you wonder if they don't change that. Some high school recruiting, and after this, I might, if you guys have any questions, shoot them my way. I haven't eaten lunch yet, so if you couldn't tell, I'm ready to go eat some lunch. But like I said, busy morning, busy all day. Glad we could get this going. Some class of 2024 recruiting news. Someone had asked me about Ronnie Wingo's little brother, Ryan Wingo, 5-star 247 composite receiver out of St. Louis, Missouri. He goes to St. Louis University High. Wide receiver at 6'2", 198. Arkansas, Boston College, Florida. I mean, he has a plethora of offers. I think he's got close to 30 offers out of high school right now. He's being recruited by Kenny Guyton. Would obviously be a huge get. Everything I understand is that Arkansas is absolutely in his wheelhouse, or it's a school that wouldn't shock you that he committed and signed with. So Ryan Wingo, they're in pretty good shape with. Now, obviously, he's not going to be given any crystal balls. He's a class of 2024. You still got a ways to go on him. But Arkansas right now has positioned themselves in a really good spot for Ryan Wingo. Kenny Guyton, obviously, is his recruiter. You look at the situation going on at wideout. When we cross that bridge in that class, he's going to be made a priority. I mean, he already is for that class. He's a priority. I think Arkansas is going to be all over him. So, again, if you have any questions, shoot them my way. Yeah, he broke Shabazz's record, talking about Centennia. Yeah, man. Really happy that video ended up doing a lot better than I thought it would do. Initially, I thought the Centennia video would blow the hell up, would be one of the best interview video. Not that I've done a lot of interview videos, but I thought it would just jump up, and it didn't. It started off really slow, and then I mentioned it here. When was that? Friday, and then I noticed over the weekend it did a lot better, so that's really cool. Some people complained about the volume. I heard him okay, but I had to keep turning my speakers up. I don't use a headset. I should, because I don't want you to have that feedback coming through my speakers, and then you got it just causes it's messy, But the way this microphone works, you can't hear it. But I couldn't hear him talk. I had to turn my speakers all the way up. I thought it was a pretty good interview. But yeah, he broke the Shabazz's record. I saw that. Only broke the long jump, but it was still crazy. Yeah. Centennial going to own all them records. I think that was it. I think that meet was it for him. Unless maybe they have another. I don't know. But I think that was his last chance, Mike. I could be wrong. Nice series win by Arkansas baseball. No time to rest, though. Number 24 Vanderbilt coming to town. This is the biggest series. This is a huge series. It's another opportunity for Arkansas to get, maybe bump up their RPI, which it sounds like the RPI has become more and more important in college baseball. Oh boy. We're going to put that user in timeout. Hang on. There you go. You're gone. See ya. Only way he gets another meet is if they do a meet of champions. Okay. Man, how do you... There we go. Anyways, yeah. That bot is working hard. They're thirsty. That bot is working extra hard. They really want you guys to click on their naked high def XYZ online strips without clothing. Not in here. No thank you, bot. So, anyways. Ty works hard, but these bots work harder. Yeah, that's the truth. And I don't have this is another reason why I need to get another mod in here. Because I forgot where I was at. I was dealing with that. What was I saying? Oh, big series against Vanderbilt. This is a big one. This one was big. Vanderbilt all of a sudden starts to feel a little bit like like this could be a hugely important matchup for Arkansas. Of course, you got Alabama after that. No midweek games. 6 games. As I understand it, again, please correct me if I'm wrong. I think if they take 4 out of their next 6, they will share a piece of the SEC West title, the regular season title. I think that's the way the numbers work. I could be wrong. If I am, please correct me. Sounds 100% American to me. Yeah. You will not get our CC numbers, you bot. All right. I do appreciate you guys again. For those of you who are watching this live, special shout out to you. You were able to make this. But, that's the way these streams are going to go throughout probably most of the off season, unless we have breaking news. Of course, I'll try to have a video out immediately following like breaking news. But for the most part, they're just kind of randomly, timed live streams. My goal is later in the evening, I would like to get back to doing like 5 or 6 p.m. live streams. I would love for that to be the case. Maybe we'll get there. Part of the reason, I don't usually like to give out too much information, but part of the reason I've struggled doing those PM shows is because we have tutoring with our oldest daughter a couple times a week. We've got all sorts of stuff going on, and not only that, dinner, and by the time everybody's settled in, it's really hard to do these 5 p.m. live streams. And because the information or the news is so slow this time of year, if I go live at 11, there's not enough to go live. There's not enough to go live with. I don't have enough information. So I like to try and give myself a little bit more time. That's part of the reason why we don't do the 11, and that's part of obviously the stuff going on with tutoring and picking the girls up late from school and everything. It's just this is really about – it's just whenever I can go live, and we're going to have to stick with this until I'm able to get settled in, and we have more consistent news too. You see that Kevin McPherson has been hyping up some kind of news on Twitter recently. What do you think that's about? Well, we talked about now, he did mention the European. They're going to Europe. They're going to play. They could play up to 10 games in Europe, but I don't know if that's what he's talking about. I don't know. If you're talking about the comment that he made, when was that, Friday on Twitter? I don't know what that's about. I have no idea. I assumed it had something to do with Jay Will, maybe. Or the kid that was visiting over the weekend, the 6'6", what is he, a combo guard? The 6'6" guard. I don't know. I have no idea, but I did see it, Ryan. Yeah. If you guys find out, hey, feel free to hop in our Discord and tell us. Let me give you guys that link really quick, because I know I need to do this more. Copy. Here you go. Here's the link to Discord if you guys want to join it. I try to post that every show. I do the best I can. He dropped the eyes tweet. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Bobby Bones replied. I don't know. I have no idea what that was about. I guess maybe we'll find out this week, and I'll have something to talk about this week. That would be great. I think they hinted that it was a recruiting thing. Might be. Hopefully. Some news. Anything. Anything, please. All right. I'll be live again. Don't know how many times a week I'm going to stream. My target is 3, but I may not hit 3. Unless I can get an interview in. If I can get someone to come in and do an interview, I might be able to get 3 shows done this week. If not, we might be stuck at 2 shows this week. But, like I said, we do a lot of reacting to information and news and breaking news and what have you. So I say information. We do a lot of reacting to breaking stories. We try to make, that kind of content on top of giving you the latest. So Vanderbilt, we will talk about on Friday. We'll get ready for that series. That again, I know there's a lot of casual baseball fans, but this is all we're in that point of the season where things are getting hot, and that's when it's at its best. College baseball is at its best this time of year, if you want my opinion. This point, and then moving into the regionals, super regionals, and Omaha, it's going to be a lot of fun. See you, Ty. Thanks for the stream. Have a good lunch, brother. Appreciate it. Woo Pig, I'll see you guys later on in the week. You guys try and behave yourselves. Unless you're out in the pen and at Baum Walker, then go wild. Go crazy. Woo Pig. See you guys around.